Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! Okay, so let's recap here. Odette here is a skunk witch whose job it is to guard 5 evil flowers fertilized by the remains of an evil sorcerer. If anybody messes with the flowers, Odette turns them into an animal and adds them to her magical menagerie. Basically, her personal zoo. Unfortunately, the flowers have been messed with. You'll notice that there are 5 stumps around here. These are where the 5 flowers were. The flowers were stolen by a group of hoodlums, it appears. At least judging by the opening, there were 5 characters surrounding the flowers. Anyway, we have already retrieved one of the flowers. Which one is it? Right here, the foxglove. We have retrieved the foxglove and transformed that thief into an animal. That thief should be in the menagerie right now, so let's go ahead and check them out. I believe the menagerie should be up through here. Yep, sure enough. I'm not sure which of these characters is the thief. I know the thief was turned into a cow, but there's 3 cows here. In fact, there's other animals as well, which indicates that other people have been turned into animals as well before the start of this adventure. I wonder what their story is. Also, we got this character here. Let's do a little bit more recapping. And here is the interesting thing. Odette used to be human herself. Years ago, she came to the evil garden, and her goal was to be turned into an animal on purpose. The previous witch who was guarding the garden was... what was her name? Andromalius. And Andromalius decided to make Odette her apprentice. Andromalius has since retired or something, and now Odette has taken responsibility, and Odette now has her own apprentice. That would be Jane here. We don't know Jane's actual name. Apparently Odette decides to change this character's name on a weekly basis. For this adventure, we're calling her Jane. Hello, Odette. What would you like to know? How many thieves? How many of the thieves have I caught? You've caught one of the thieves. There's only a few thieves left out there. Good luck. And how many flowers? How many of the flowers have I gotten back? You recovered 1 of the stolen flowers. There's only a few missing flowers left. Something else of interest are these journal entries. Odette's super secret journal don't open. You flip to a random page. It turns out that we actually did flip to a random page because there's other pages that we can check randomly. The first page took place in the year 3023. This is 3025. So this past winter, I've been turning thieves into deer so the people of the village would have more to hunt this winter. Yikes. I don't think they appreciated my generosity. They keep screaming at me about cannibalism. Excuse me? Humans and deer are totally different species. Humans are such stupid and ungrateful creatures, says the person who used to be human herself. As an aside, good choice of animal to become. I may be at home being a raccoon dragon, but skunks are definitely my favorite animal. Still though, wow, that's kind of twisted. I guess the good news is that the people of the village are fully aware that the deer were people. But gosh, imagine having that fate. Turned into an animal, only to be hunted as food. I like the idea of being turned into an animal, but, at least let me live my life out as an animal. Let's see, another random page. I think... there's a different page for each year. So we've seen 2023, we've seen 2025. Let's see what else we can get. Here's one, June 4th, 3024. Jane told me it was her birthday today, and I felt bad for not remembering or getting her anything. So I gave her the burger I was going to eat tonight. I said, "Here you go, Gabbo. Happy birthday." I don't know just how grateful she was, but I was going to eat that burger, so I think I was being very magnanimous. I hope it was a good burger. I also hope that burger was not a person. March 2nd, 3025. Apparently I was wrong. There are entries, multiple entries that take place in the same year. I told my assistant that I had a gift for her and showed her a name tag with Jane written on it. Was that recent then? I could practically see steam coming out of her big deer ears. Okay, can confirm, Jane was turned into a deer. It was hilarious. Okay, so the earliest entry we've seen was from 2023. So Jane has been turned into a deer for at least a couple of years and... Oh gosh, imagine that. Not only being turned into an animal, furry or otherwise, or rather anthro or otherwise, but actually not being human for that long. I'll admit that there's definitely an appeal for me. I'd definitely be willing to give up being human for a long while. But even for me, imagining being a furry, like a real-life furry for that long, imagine I'd get so used to it, I'd start to forget what it's actually like being human, not being covered in fur, having fingernails instead of claws. April 17th, 3023. I met an interesting girl in my garden today. Are we about to learn about Jane? She really didn't seem like the dangerous type, and it's been pretty lonely here lately. And she did grab the wolf's bane with her bare hands. Look, I'm not a monster. I might disagree with that. Turning people into dumb animals is one thing, but letting them poison themselves to death just crosses a line. That and the girl kind of reminded me of me. Long story short, I asked her what her favorite animal was, and now she's my servant. Oh, that answers a question I had. Jane chose to be a deer. Well, I certainly hope that, at the very least, she's happy being a deer. Even if, Odette is not the nicest of masters. Also, servant instead of apprentice? Yeah. She seemed to really enjoy the transformation. I'd say that's weird, but who am I to judge? Again, speak for yourself. I didn't like being human much either. Oh, she spoke for herself. Then again, maybe she was just happy she wasn't going to die from the poisoning. January 9th, 3024. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap! I turned a guy into a fox because he made a pun about being foxy. And he tried to make off with my foxglove flowers. And I wanted to be ironic and everything. Anyway, the jerk nearly bit my leg off. That's it. Animals that can eat me are strictly off limits. Herbivores only. No more carnivores ever. Well, that's certainly an interesting one. As an aside, imagine turning into an animal where you use your mouth to do things, and you're, more specifically, biting people. That is definitely not a human thing. July 16th, 3023. My new assistant asked me why the flowers are so important, and I sort of froze up. You mean you didn't really tell her? Apparently not. I don't really want to tell her about the whole evil sorcerer burial ground thing, so I wasn't sure what to say. If I tell enough people about that, I could end up with a lot more intruders to deal with. Okay, so we're going to assume that Jane does not know that the flowers are evil. And just a real recap, just to have all the journal entries in one video. September 3rd, 2023, my new assistant gets really flustered when I get her name wrong. It's hilariously adorable, or dare I say, hilar-adorable. Anyway, I'm just going to call her by the wrong name all the time now. So, that was, when? September 30, 2023? Yeah, Odette's been calling Jane by the wrong name for almost 2 years. Okay, I've been going through this journal for a bit, and I've only seen 7 pages, so I'm assuming that there's only 7 pages for Odette's journal. And that said, what about Jane's journal? There's a stain of what looks like mustard on the cover of this diary, but you can just make out the words, "Don't open." You flip to a random page. March 4th, 2024. Sometimes, when I'm tending to the flowers, I swear I can hear a really faint voice. I did tell Odette about it, but it's probably just my imagination. Are the flowers sentient? December 23rd, 2024. Odette made me count all of the flowers today. It wouldn't be hard since it's the middle of winter, but we got 6 feet of snow overnight. Yeah, we read that one. Odette is definitely not very nice. It really makes me wonder how Andromalius treated Odette. Or if perhaps this whole being the Witch of the Flowers has gone to her head or something. February 14th, 2025. This is shortly before the journal entry where Odette was turning people into deer for hunting. And suddenly I realize, oh wait, Jane is also a deer. Not a regular deer, she got to keep her thumbs, but I wonder how she felt about that. Odette seems like one of those people who acts all mean to you because she doesn't know how to admit she likes you. But it seems she'd do a better job remembering my name if she secretly fancied me. April 19th, 2023. This is 2 days after Jane became a deer. I told Odette my favorite animal was deer, and now I have to figure out how to write with these hooves. I think I'm getting the hang of it. Okay, I love that she actually had to deal with that. One of my favorite things about being turned into an animal, hypothetically anyway, is having to learn how to move in your new body. Like, if you get turned into an animal on 4 legs, you're not going to automatically know how to walk or even run as an animal on 4 legs. Your joints move a little bit differently. Sure, they're kind of positioned the same, but there's definitely differences. Not to mention, if you got hooves, we just saw, a little bit different than having regular fingers. Or, let's say, even talking. Like, your mouth is longer, your tongue is longer, you gotta figure out how to move your lips. And that's assuming you even have lips as an animal. You might learn to have to deal with a little bit of ventriloquism in order to get some articulation. June 4th, 2024. Odette had a diary entry on that same day. I think it was the one where it was Jane's birthday and Odette forgot, so she gave Jane a hamburger. I told Odette it was my birthday today, so she went out and got me a burger. It's not much, but considering she forgot last year. I'm kind of wondering if Jane is even able to eat hamburgers. Well, she didn't complain about throwing up, so I guess despite being a deer, she still has a human digestive system. July 16th, 3023. Another shared date with Odette's journal. This is the one where Jane was asking why the flowers were important. Today, a man ran into the middle of the garden screaming about obscure or something. An obscure legend about the evil sorcerer? The name sounded interesting, but by the time I got outside, Odette was already done with him. I asked her about the name, but she didn't seem to recognize it. I get the feeling Odette knows. Does that mean the evil sorcerer was named Obscure? Or something like it? I'll definitely keep that in mind. We might hear that name again later. March 17th, 3025. Between the two journals, this is the newest entry. Took me ages to scrounge up enough money, but maybe now Odette will start remembering my name. What's that about? A present? A name tag? I can't imagine name tags cost very much, though. Okay, so that was 7 journal entries from Jane, and 7 from Odette. I'm assuming that is all of the journal entries. Although I suppose I could always find out from the game creator if there are more, and I've just been really unlucky to find them. And just real quick, I have another coin that I can use on one of these hint statues, these Lamia statues. What do you say, out of curiosity? Aha! Is that a hint coin I smell? Give me that coin, and I will guide you through this puzzle. There's no puzzle in here. He handed a hint coin to the mechanical Lamia. There are no puzzles here, so you just wasted a hint coin. So speaketh Lady Lamia, the puzzle mistress. That figures. Just to get another look at you from the side, Miss Dear. Oh, the message window is covering you up. Never mind. What would you like to know? Nothing? Oh, nothing. I just wanted to remind you that this is all your fault. I'm sorry. So at this point, I want to bring up a timeline of this playthrough, and bring up the fact that this is actually a re-recording. I originally streamed this playthrough at Twitch last year, but for here at YouTube, I decided to go ahead and re-record this playthrough. For a variety of reasons, I don't really want to get into them all, but yeah, this is a re-recording, with the exception of the first episode. For the first episode, I decided to post my original recording from Twitch last year, because I wanted to show my original first impression reactions to this game, because this game is definitely pretty interesting. The fact that Odette is transformed into a skunk and transforming other people, very interesting. But for the rest of this playthrough, it is no longer blind. And for the most part, I will say during my original playthrough, I did not reread the journal entries, so I did not know there were multiple entries. So that was very much interesting to see new stuff, even here, re-recording this playthrough. By the way, seeing as I have already played through this game, I already know what to expect. So yeah, this game is very much inspired by the Game Boy Zelda games, especially in the presentation. Along with that, a lot of the puzzles also are straight out of those games. As for combat, no, this game does not have any combat. This game is purely about the puzzles. No big deal, this game was still very interesting to play. I definitely look forward to playing it again. Oh, and also, I'm sure some of you are curious. No, Odette does not spray anybody. That does not come into play at all. I myself spent a couple years as a skunk in the furry fandom, largely because of the spray. I thought it would be neat to have a WMD under my tail like that, but honestly, it became kind of mundane. I got used to having it, and like with Odette, it never came into play. Anyway, while I myself would think it would have been kind of fun to get to spray people, I imagine that would be off-putting for some people, so yeah, probably better off just being somebody who transforms people instead. Honestly, that's a lot more fun anyway. Anyway, I did not intend to spend this entire episode just reading journal entries, but I have no idea how long this episode is at this point. So this town here, we're going to save it for next time. We'll find out how these town people feel about living next door to a skunk witch. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.